My mom kicked me out at 17 so her new husband Larry could have my bedroom because he said living in the basement was beneath his standards and she chose him over her own child. She gave me 2 days to pack everything and find somewhere to go, saying, Larry is my husband now and his comfort comes first. My name is Arya and I'm 24 years old now, but this story starts when I was 17 and my whole world came crashing down in the span of 2 days. I was sitting at our kitchen table doing calculus homework when my mom Denise walked in with that look. The one she got whenever she was about to deliver bad news but tried to act like it wasn't a big deal. Behind her stood Larry, this 40-something man she'd been dating for 8 months, wearing his usual smug expression. Arya, honey, we need to talk, Mom said, not meeting my eyes. Larry and I have been discussing living arrangements and well, we think it would be best if you found somewhere else to stay. I looked up from my textbook, confused. What do you mean, somewhere else to stay? This is my house too. Larry stepped forward, his voice dripping with fake concern. Look, kid, I know this is hard to understand, but your mom and I are married now. I can't be expected to live in that cramped basement like some college student. A man of my stature needs proper accommodations. Stature. I laughed, but nothing was funny. You sell used cars, Larry. Mom's face hardened. Don't be disrespectful. Larry is my husband now and his comfort comes first. You're almost 18 anyway. You'll figure something out. The room spun. This house, with its blue shutters and the oak tree Daddy planted when I was born, was supposed to be mine someday. Now they wanted me gone so Larry could have my bedroom with its big windows and attached bathroom. You're kicking me out of my own home? My voice cracked. Larry smirked. It's not your home anymore, sweetheart. 2 days. That's all they gave me to pack 17 years of my life into whatever I could carry. I moved through my bedroom like a zombie, folding clothes with shaking hands while Larry measured the walls for his new 65-inch TV. Make sure you take everything, he called from my doorway. I don't want any teenage girl junk cluttering up my space. My space. The room where Daddy used to read me bedtime stories, where I'd studied for every test since middle school, where I'd cried into my pillow when he died 3 years ago from a heart attack at 42. I found the photo of Dad tucked inside my jewelry box, him holding me as a baby, both of us grinning at Mom behind the camera. Back when we were a family. Back when Mom would have fought the world to protect me. Arya, are you almost done up there? Mom's voice drifted upstairs. She hadn't even come to help pack. Hadn't shed a single tear. I stuffed the photo in my backpack along with my birth certificate and social security card. Everything else would have to fit in 3 garbage bags in my old suitcase from 8th grade camp. My best friend Jasmine knocked on the door that evening, her mom's car idling outside. Girl, my mama said you can stay with us for a while, but... She trailed off, both of us knowing her family's 2-bedroom apartment was already packed with her 3 younger siblings. I know, I whispered. Thank her for me, but I can't put y'all out like that. That night, I loaded everything I owned into my 2003 Honda Civic. The one Dad had bought me for my 16th birthday, saying every girl needed reliable transportation. I never thought I'd be living in it. The McDonald's parking lot at 2 a.m. was eerily quiet except for the hum of my car's engine. I'd been sitting there for hours, afraid to turn it off in case it wouldn't start again. The gas gauge hovered just above empty and I had $43 to my name. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Left some leftovers in the fridge if you want to come get them. Just knock first. Larry's watching his shows. Knock first. At the house where I'd lived my entire life. I typed back, I'm good, and deleted her number. If she could choose Larry over her own daughter, then I could choose myself over her. The next morning I walked into McDonald's at 6 a.m., still wearing yesterday's clothes. The manager, Ms. Rodriguez, looked me up and down with knowing eyes. You filling out an application, baby? Yes, ma'am. I need a job immediately. You got somewhere to stay? I hesitated. I'm figuring it out. He handed me the paperwork. Fill this out. You look like a good kid who's going through something. I've been there. By noon, I was wearing a McDonald's uniform and learning how to work the register. By evening, I'd made $62 and had my first real meal in 2 days. I ate it in my car, watching other families through the restaurant windows, wondering if their kids knew how lucky they were. I drove back to our street that night, parking 2 blocks away. The house glowed warm and yellow, and I could see Larry's massive TV through my old bedroom window. Mom's silhouette moved past the kitchen, probably making his dinner. They looked so content without me. 3 weeks into living in my car, I thought I'd hit rock bottom. Then it got worse. I was parked behind a 24-hour laundromat, using their bathroom to brush my teeth when I saw him. Larry walking out of the motel across the street with some woman who definitely wasn't my mom. She looked barely older than me, all giggles and bleached hair. My hands shook as I fumbled for my phone. Should I tell Mom? Part of me wanted her to hurt the way she'd hurt me. But a bigger part, the part that still remembered her braiding my hair for picture day, couldn't do it. Instead, I took a photo. Just in case. Work became my salvation. Ms. Rodriguez put me on every shift I could handle, and slowly I started saving money. $50 for a gym membership so I could shower. $20 for a post office box so I'd have an address. Every penny counted when you're living on dollar menu items and sleeping in a car. The worst part wasn't the physical discomfort. It was the loneliness. Watching my former classmates post prom pictures while I figured out which parking lots had the quietest security guards. Seeing Mom's Facebook posts about her wonderful husband and their perfect life, while I washed my work uniform in a laundromat sink. One night, a police officer tapped on my window at 3 a.m. "You can't sleep here, Mississippi." "I'm not sleeping, officer. Just resting." He looked at my backseat full of belongings, my McDonald's uniform hanging from the window. His expression softened. "There's a safe parking area behind the community center. Other folks in your situation use it sometimes. Just be careful out here." I nodded, too exhausted to be embarrassed anymore. 6 months of living in my car taught me things they don't cover in high school. Like which gas stations let you use their bathrooms without buying anything. Which parking lots are safe at night. How to make $3 worth of food last 2 days. But it also taught me I was stronger than I thought. I enrolled in GED classes at the community center, studying by streetlight when my car battery died. Ms. Rodriguez promoted me to assistant manager trainee, impressed by how I never called out sick or showed up late. "Most kids your age don't have your work ethic," she said one afternoon. "What's your story?" I told her everything. About Dad dying, about Mom choosing Larry, about sleeping in parking lots while they redecorated my room. She listened without judgment, then reached into her purse. "My daughter's got an apartment with a roommate who just moved out. Rent's $400 a month. You interested?" "I can't afford that yet, but first month's free if you help her move some furniture this weekend. After that, we'll see how your hours work out." I cried in the walk-in freezer during my break. Happy tears for the first time in months. The apartment was tiny, just a studio with a Murphy bed and a kitchenette, but it had 4 walls and a door that locked. My roommate, Carmen, was a nursing student who worked nights and slept days. Perfect for my schedule. That first night in an actual bed, I called Jasmine. "Girl, I was wondering when you'd reach out. How are you?" "Okay. She okay. I got an apartment and everything." "And your mama? Y'all talking yet?" I stared at the ceiling. She made her choice. Now I'm making mine. 2 years passed like a blur of early mornings and late-night study sessions. I passed my GED with honors and enrolled in community college, majoring in business management. Ms. Rodriguez was talking about helping me open my own franchise someday. "You've got the mind for it," she said. "And the heart. That's rarer than you'd think." I'd built a real life. Carmen and I had become genuine friends, staying up late talking about our dreams over cheap wine and takeout. I had a savings account with actual money in it. I drove past our old street sometimes, but I never stopped. Then Jasmine called with news. "Girl, you need to sit down for this. I saw your mama at the grocery store yesterday and she looked rough. Like really rough. And she was alone. Where was Larry?" "That's the thing. Mrs. Patterson from down the street told my mama that Larry left. Packed up and disappeared about a month ago. Word is he cleaned out their bank accounts too." I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no sadness. Just emptiness where my anger used to be. "Arya? You there?" "Yeah. Thanks for telling me. You gonna call her?" I looked around my small apartment. At Carmen's nursing textbook stacked next to my business management homework. At the photos of me and my work friends on the refrigerator. At the acceptance letter from the state university I'd pinned to the wall. No. I don't think I am. That night, I dreamed about Dad for the first time in months. We were in the backyard and he was teaching me to change a tire. "Sometimes people show you who they are," he said, tightening the lug nuts. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do is believe them the first time. Larry's betrayal came exactly as I'd predicted, though I took no satisfaction in being right. The Facebook post stopped first. No more pictures of their perfect life, or Larry's expensive toys. Then I heard through Jasmine that the house was up for sale. Foreclosure, she whispered over coffee. Apparently Larry had been using credit cards in your mama's name, running up crazy debt. Left her with nothing. I stirred my latte watching the foam swirl. How much debt? 60,000, maybe more. Girl lost everything. The house, the car, even had to sell your daddy's tools. That hit different. Dad's tools were sacred. He'd spent 20 years collecting them, each one chosen carefully, maintained lovingly. I'd planned to inherit them someday, maybe pass them to my own children. Where's she living now? Some nasty studio across town. Roaches, broken air conditioning, the works. Mrs. Patterson said she's been looking rough, real rough. I finished my coffee in silence. Part of me, the part that remembered Mom singing me to sleep when I had nightmares, wanted to feel sorry for her. But the bigger part, the part that had learned to survive without her, felt only indifference. 3 months later, my phone rang at 2 a.m. Unknown number. Hello. Arya. Mom's voice, small and broken. Baby, please don't hang up. I know I messed up. But I need help. I sat up in bed, instantly alert. What kind of help? I need someone to co-sign for an apartment. My credit is ruined and I can't keep living in this place. There's mold and the neighbors. Please, baby. You're my only child. The audacity took my breath away. After 2.5 years of silence, she wanted me to risk my credit for her comfort. Remember when you kicked your only child out? I said quietly. You told me I'd figure something out. Well, now you can figure something out too. I hung up while she was still talking. Mom didn't give up easily. She called 17 times over the next week, leaving increasingly desperate voicemails. I listened to every one, not out of cruelty, but because I needed to hear her pain to believe it was real. Arya, baby, I know I hurt you, but I was in love. You don't understand what it's like to be alone after losing someone like your daddy. Please call me back. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I chose Larry. I'm sorry I made you leave. I just need one chance to fix this. The landlord's threatening eviction. There's black mold in the bathroom and I'm getting sick. Please, I'm begging you. Carmen found me listening to them in our kitchen at 3 a.m. Those from your mom? I nodded, not trusting my voice. What are you gonna do? Nothing. She made her bed. And you're okay with that? I looked at her, this friend who'd become like a sister, who'd helped me build something real from nothing. She threw away a 17-year relationship for an 8-month marriage. She gave away my inheritance for a man who never loved her. She chose him over her own child repeatedly. My voice grew stronger with each word. So yeah, I'm okay with letting her face the consequences. Carmen squeezed my shoulder. Just make sure you're choosing this because it's right for you, not because you're angry. But I wasn't angry anymore. Anger required caring and I'd run out of care to give. The next morning, I blocked her number and deleted all her voicemails without listening to them. It was time to move forward. My acceptance letter to the state university arrived on a Tuesday that felt like any other day until it wasn't. Full scholarship for academic achievement, plus a work-study program that would cover living expenses. 4 years to earn my bachelor's degree in business management, with a guaranteed internship at a marketing firm downtown. Girl, look at you. Carmen squealed, spinning me around our tiny kitchen. From sleeping in your car to full ride at university. Your daddy would be so proud. I held the letter with shaking hands, remembering all those nights studying by streetlight, all those mornings dragging myself to work on 3 hours of sleep. It felt surreal. Ms. Rodriguez cried when I gave my 2 weeks' notice. I always knew you were special, she said, hugging me tight. You keep in touch, you hear? And remember, you've got a home here whenever you need one. Home. Funny how that word had changed meaning. It wasn't the house with blue shutters where I'd grown up. It wasn't even Carmen's apartment, though I'd been happy there. Home was the people who chose to stay, who supported your dreams instead of sacrificing them for their own comfort. Moving day came with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Carmen helped me pack my few belongings, both of us trying not to get too emotional. You better call me every week, she threatened, stuffing my textbooks into boxes. Every day if you want. And if that mama of yours comes sniffing around asking about you, tell her the truth. I'm doing fine without her. As I loaded my car, the same Honda Civic that had been my bedroom for 6 months, I thought about that scared 17-year-old girl who'd been kicked out with garbage bags and broken dreams. She'd have never imagined this moment was possible. But she'd been stronger than she knew. University life suited me. I threw myself into my studies with the intensity of someone who understood that education was freedom. My professors noticed my work ethic, my attention to detail, the way I treated every assignment like it mattered. Because to me, they all did. I was in my dorm room reviewing marketing case studies when my phone rang. Jasmine's name lit up the screen. "Hey girl, what's up?" "Arya." Her voice was strange, careful. "I need to tell you something about your mama." My stomach dropped. "What happened?" "She's in the hospital. Has been for 3 days. Pneumonia they think, but it's bad. Mrs. Patterson found her passed out in her apartment." I stared out my dorm window at students walking across campus. Their biggest worries probably upcoming midterms or weekend plans. Will she be okay? They don't know yet. She's been asking for you. Of course she has, I thought. Now that she's scared, now that she needs something, suddenly I matter again. "Jasmine, I can't." "I know. I know you can't, and I understand why. I just thought you should know." After we hung up, I sat in silence for an hour. Part of me, the part that remembered her making my favorite pancakes on Saturday mornings, the part that still missed having a mom, wanted to run to that hospital. But the bigger part, the part that had learned hard lessons about self-preservation, stayed put. I called Carmen instead. "She made her choices," Carmen said after I explained. "You don't owe her anything." "Then why do I feel guilty?" "Because you've got a good heart. But having a good heart doesn't mean letting people hurt you over and over." That night, I dreamed about Mom and Dad dancing in our old kitchen while I did homework at the table. But when I tried to join them, they faded away like smoke. Mom survived the pneumonia. Jasmine kept me updated despite my protests, slipping details into our conversations like breadcrumbs I couldn't avoid stepping on. "She's back in that apartment. Lost more weight. Asking about you." I graduated summa cum laude with my bachelor's degree. My internship turned into a full-time offer at one of the city's top marketing firms. I rented a real apartment, 1 bedroom with hardwood floors and a balcony overlooking downtown. I had a savings account, a retirement plan, and for the first time since Dad died, I felt secure. The promotional photos from my job were shared on my social media. Me in a sharp business suit, shaking hands with the company CEO. Me presenting at a client meeting. Me accepting an award for the most innovative campaign of the quarter. I knew Mom could see them if she looked. Part of me wanted her to see what I'd built without her, to understand what she'd thrown away. But mostly I posted them for me. Proof that I'd made it despite everything. Carmen visited for my housewarming party, bringing wine and stories from nursing school. "Look at you living your best life," she said, admiring my furniture. All of it bought with my own money, chosen to suit my own taste. It's weird, isn't it? 5 years ago I was homeless. Now I'm helping other companies build their dreams. Not weird. Earned. That night, alone in my beautiful apartment, I finally allowed myself to feel proud. Not bitter, not angry. Just proud of the woman I'd become without anyone's help. The girl who'd been thrown away had built herself into something amazing. And she'd done it all on her own terms. 7 years after that night in the McDonald's parking lot, my phone rang with a number I'd blocked and unblocked a dozen times over the years. This time I answered. "Hello. Arya?" "Oh God, baby," you answered. Mom's voice was weathered, older than her 53 years. "I know you don't want to talk to me, but I need help. Here we go again. I lost the apartment. The landlord sold the building and I can't find anywhere else that'll take me with my credit. I've been staying at the shelter, but there's a waiting list for permanent housing, and I need someone to co-sign." The same request from 4 years ago. The same desperation, the same assumption that I'd sacrifice my stability for her comfort. "I know I hurt you," she continued. "I know choosing Larry was wrong. But you're my daughter, my only child. Please, I'm begging you." I looked around my apartment, at my diplomas on the wall, my professional headshots on the mantle, the life I'd built brick by brick with no help from anyone. "Do you know what I've been doing for the past 7 years?" I asked quietly. I know you went to college. I'm proud. I graduated summa cum laude. I have a career in marketing. I own my apartment, I have a retirement fund, and I did it all while you were playing house with Larry. Silence on the other end. I needed a mother when I was 17 and scared and living in my car. You needed a husband more than you needed a daughter. So you made your choice. I was wrong. Yes, you were. And now you're asking me to risk everything I've built to fix your mistakes. Again. The old me might have wavered. Might have felt guilty enough to give in. But I wasn't that scared 17-year-old anymore. Remember when you kicked your only child out? I said, my voice steady and calm. You told me Larry was your husband now, that his comfort came first and I'd figure something out. You stood there while he smirked at me while I packed my life into garbage bags. Arya, please. You chose him over me every single day for 2 years. When I needed school supplies, you bought him golf clubs. When I needed help with college applications, you were planning his birthday party. When I needed a mother, you were being his wife. I could hear her crying, but it didn't move me the way it once would have. Well, now you can figure something out just like I had to. And just like Larry figured out when he found someone younger and took all your money. You're my daughter. No, I said firmly. I was your daughter. Daughters are protected, loved, chosen. I was the obstacle you removed for a man who never loved you. The silence stretched between us, filled with 7 years of consequences. I've built a good life, I continued. I'm successful, I'm happy, and I'm surrounded by people who actually care about me. People who would never ask me to sacrifice my security for their comfort. I love you, she whispered. Maybe you do. But love without action is just words. And your actions told me everything I needed to know. I hung up while she was still sobbing, then immediately blocked her number again. This time I knew it would be permanent. I poured myself a glass of wine and stepped onto my balcony, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, Mom was probably calling Jasmine or Mrs. Patterson looking for another angle, another way to make me responsible for fixing her life. But I was done being her solution. Done being anyone's solution except my own. The scared 17-year-old who'd cried herself to sleep in a Honda Civic was finally free. And the successful 24-year-old woman she'd become was just getting started. I raised my glass to the city and to Dad's memory and to the future I was building on my own terms. Some chapters closed themselves. This one was finally over. Final verdict time. Hero or villain? Did Arya do what we all wish we could do, or did they go nuclear when they should have tried diplomacy? I need to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if stories about people finally putting themselves first give you life, subscribe and ring that notification bell, because this is just the beginning.